Hey everybody, I'm Evan, and today I'll show you some versions of a game that you have probably never heard of. So today we're going to talk about vegetable stock. This here is my original printing of the Taiwanese version from 2022, I believe. But did you know that in Taiwan there are a couple of other versions of this game? Yeah, so let's go down to the table and I'll show you what they're all about. So this is, of course, what a basic game of vegetable stock would look like set up, with your market that changes based on the cards, where you deal out the number of cards for the number of players plus one, and then whichever card is left after the players draft them is how the market adjusts. So that would go, 2 carrots are left, and then 1 corn is left, so those go up. And then whenever they hit the top, they crash down to the bottom. So pretty simple, right? But we're not looking at this today. Let's look at some other version. So every year in Taiwan, they have a convention called the TOBY, or the Taiwan Original Board Game Expo. And they've released 2 different versions of vegetable stock, one in 2022 and one in 2023, that are affectionately known as Board Game Collector. The game plays exactly the same as vegetable stock, but with a couple of little tweaks. Let me show you. So the market cards look like this, and same as before. There's party games, family games, strategy games, kids games, and puzzle, thematic / others. Okay, same thing. You deal out the number of cards based on the number of players plus 1. Whatever's left, the market adjusts. However, if you notice, these are going down instead of up. So thematically, I guess it's the board games that you are collecting on these cards are slowly going out of print. And then once they finally they crash to the bottom, well, you flip these cards, and then they get even higher. So it's 7. And then they go back all the way down, possibly to 0. So instead of like crashing to 0, like crashing as high as it can go and then back to 0, it actually gets even better. So it's an interesting little tweak on the game that the market just acts a little bit differently. So basically these are the same, except they have some different games in them. But I have one more. This here is a Hello Kitty version of vegetable stock called Hello Tea Time. This one is slightly different. The gameplay is exactly the same, however, there's a board here. If you notice, the cards are basically the same layout of the cards, where they have different symbols on the sides there. There is cards that replicate the tornado and the sun that are in the normal vegetable stock. However, let's see here. Oh my goodness. There's all these tokens, okay? There are point tokens. There are secret character tokens. There's even a little active player standee. So, this market is a little bit different. There's multiple rounds in this version. So, the market would be set up like this, and then these tokens are used instead of cards to show the value. Then also each player is dealt one of these little secret tokens to show which character you actually have 1 extra of at the end of the game. Because instead of having a market where you are multiplying your number of the symbols based on the market value, all you're doing is looking for majority in this one. So you deal out the number of cards for the number of players, same as before, and then whichever one's left, the market adjusts. So that one would go up 2, this one would go up 1, and then the same thing is if one goes off, it crashes. So then you do that twice with 6 cards each time. And then you use these little point tokens to keep track of your points between rounds. And I believe you also get a different one of these secret ones each time, which basically just gives you 1 extra. So whoever has the most of this character is going to get 3 points. And then whoever has the most of this character is going to get 6. And then if there's a tie, there's 3. But then for the second round, these flip. So the values change a little bit. It's just kind of an interesting little tweak on the game. It kind of simplifies it a little bit, but then also complicates it a little bit. So it's kind of interesting. Yeah, that is Hello Tea Time, which is a vegetable stock game, I suppose. So, all right, well, let's go back up to the table, and I'll tell you what I think of vegetable stock. And there you have it. Those are my other versions in my collection of vegetable stock, a game which I highly recommend. If you're not watching my top 100 games of all time, well, it appeared in there somewhere. Go check it out. So the question is, where can I get it? I don't know if this version's available anymore. These two were limited. They had extra copies on the Taiwan Board Game Design website. I don't know if they're there anymore. And this version here is not available for sale outside of Taiwan. So you're not going to find this one. But either way, the Arcane Wonders version that was printed recently is basically the same game as the original. So I would say go ahead and pick that up. I highly recommend it. Well, that does it for my tea time. I had a great time. How about you? See you on the next one, everybody. Bye.